SpeedGaming 2 presents this edition of the Zelda Link to the Past Randomizer Tournament, the 2023 edition. And today we've got ourselves the match out of Group AC. We've got on your left the one who's been waiting for a nap for 6 years, zelgadissan, and on the right, the member of the Oops All Foxes, Khloe, Prower. I'm Adirondack Rick, being joined by Drasty. Drasty, these two are very familiar with each other.
Indeed they are. They have both been around this community for quite a while. They were both in the famous 512 Swiss, and from what I could dig up, they've faced each other in tournaments twice. Most recently, the 2021 Cross Keys tournament, they had a Swiss match against each other, and they also faced each other in this tournament in 2019 in groups. That groups match was interesting because they both managed to sweep our now reigning champion, Obscure Lifeform, and when they faced each other, Zelga wound up sweeping Khloe. So this is Khloe's chance for revenge. This is Zelga's chance to keep on doing what Zelga does. We'll see what happens.
Yes, we do. We do know, as you can see up there on the top of your screen, we are playing open hard for this first match of Group AC. The other two runners inside of this group, oh goodness, what a group this is. You had Matt in this group as the second quartile against Zelga.
And who's the other member? I don't have it up.
Well, we are going to get to you in that information in just a moment as we are underway to get one of 48 pieces of hearts. This one located in the Sanctuary.
We have 80 keys and we have 48 hearts, not in the same mode.
As we get ourselves over here, checking to see what we're going to have on top of the Lumberjack. Big shout-outs to Lady Laura Linda, who's going to be doing the tracking for us. Zelga getting ambushed by the guards, trying to hit them with a few things to at least figure out what we have for the tier pulls as we get ourselves all synced up and now going through the forest. Both of these runners seeming to be doing the same skipping of the Lumberjack at this stage, and we'll find ourselves a Fire Rod. Oh, and a nice pull tree there for Zelga on that tier 1 with the 20 rupees.
Fire Rod would be a nice weapon if we had any magic to use it with.
Red Kitsune is the other runner here in this group AC. Red Kitsune is the 4 quartile. Khloe Prower, the number 82 seed out of the 3rd quartile. Zelga, the 8th overall seed in this tournament.
Yeah, Zelga has been very consistent in this tournament. He's been top 8 in each of the last 3, including one where he finished 3rd.
Yes, indeed. I know Zelga has been braving for that nap all along. Khloe getting 0 for 2 on the 50-50s. They're always 50-50s until you need them the most. Then they're... What the heck is a 50-50?
Well, there's 1 bomb, which is better than 0 bombs. And Khloe's going for more.
Zelga getting 20 rupees over here at the back of the brewery. Probably hoping to get some bombs there as a free item, so therefore we don't have to spend 50 of them here. And here's an example of how it's 50-50 until it's not. We're, what, 1 for 6 at this point?
Yeah, this is not good for
1
Khloe.
for 8.
Finally
and
gives
Khloe
up.
gives up, yes. There's only so much time you can sit there trying to get that bomb drop before you have to abandon the play. And this is the case here. There's a glove at the race game.
I think we get that.
We are going to get that a little bit later on. Khloe has just that 1 bomb. I think we're going to spend that at the bomb shack down in the bottom left corner of the village. Meanwhile, more pieces of hearts, because why not?
Oh yeah, I see. Khloe's probably grabbing back of tavern because it's free.
Yep.
Just a bit of cash, though. Because of its bombs, then you don't have to worry about your bomb situation.
And as you see, Khloe now pulls out the bombs, getting ready to go down here to the bottom left. The restock hut, as I guess they do actually call it, as we get a life refill there for Zelga. The many pieces of heart. We're up to 4 out of the 48.
But this is also why checking tree pulls can be really helpful, because it gave Zelga the money to just buy bombs as he finds the Moon Pearl in Cackwell, and one of our few full heart containers as well. And Khloe's been, using a fair amount of time to build up their bomb stack.
And Khloe's going to have to double back in order to get that glove that we know that's at race game. In fact, that's where Khloe's going to be heading right now, because I guess in Khloe's mind, maybe we get the other pieces to the Dark World, and therefore this route can actually pay out. Now, it does not look like that's going to be the case here. We are going to get the Moon Pearl, but we're not going to get the hammer or the other glove to put Dark World in access.
So, Rick, with 48 heart pieces, there are 4 full heart containers in Sank Heart. Is that right?
I think it's a little bit more than that. Maybe, I don't know. But the overall thing is that there's a whole bunch of pieces of heart in this mode.
Because the fact that there were 2 full heart containers in CAC is kind of surprising, given how few full heart containers there are overall.
And the pieces of heart are supposed to try to minimize the reduction of some of the safeties that this mode is going to have. Like, for instance, you only have that one bottle. You are not going to get half magic in this mode. You're going to get powder because it could be a progression item, and cape, as we already see, because that could be a progression item. And the same thing with the cane of burner. That's going to be available, but some of the other safeties, they are not in the pool. We're going to stay on green mail throughout this entire run.
Okay, I can never remember. Right, this is one of the modes where armor is removed altogether.
Yep, there is no armor in this mode. The other thing that you do need to remember about Open Hard is that the bows are not progressive.
And in terms of removed safeties, there's also no half magic, which, again, since we have that early fire rod and no magic so far for either runner, that's kind of unfortunate.
Somebody asking in chat if they thought blue was available. Nope, we are green mail throughout this entire run. Now, we could find what is half magic, because it gets replaced by a very small jar of magic, and you feel absolutely bad when you find that little piece of that little bit of magic, because it's usually in a place where either you don't need it or you need it the most. You could use a refill, and all you get is this tiny little sliver. But this is where you're going to see that time that Khloe spent trying to farm for the bombs, then going into the bomb shack, is going to cost, because Zelga's now already did the back of escape, now heading to the front of escape.
Though, who knows, maybe Khloe takes a big gamble, skips the front of escape, and there's nothing there. But, yeah, front of escape in open modes is always interesting.
Yeah.
Because there's never a good time to do it.
Right, but you can see what I'm talking about in regards to the time here that Zelga was able to do the village checks versus what Khloe did. As we get the mushroom here on the uncle, nice little fetch quest right there. And I do agree with chat in regards to the many, many different open, hard modes that are available in this game. Meanwhile, Zelga looks like... I wonder where Zelga is going here after.
And Zelga...
Obviously, we're getting another tree pull here, but we are going to at least try to get some of this escape taken care of.
I mean, Zelga's thinking that the gloves put Zora in logic, so he wants to be prepared if he has to do that.
Yeah, which is why you saw the 2 tree pulls there to get him over 500 rupees.
So, I'm guessing, yeah, Khloe's gonna at least do Uncle. We'll see if they also do Front of Escape.
Yeah, we really don't have a lot of great options at this point, because we
haven't seen South Shore yet.
Yeah, and the problem with that is that we have a combined 8 bombs at this point, which, if one of the runners had 8 bombs total, then you could make a play on those mini Moldorms, but 3 bombs, kind of sad.
That sword that we just found in the Front of Escape makes the mini Moldorms a bit easier.
Well, yes. which gets rid of all that thinking here. But I was just thinking if you were to just go to South Shore without heading here to the front of Escape.
Yeah, and each one of those little magic things that Khloe was just picking up is only one fire rod use, so you're not going to be able to get through the mini Moldorms on that.
Yeah. Unless you get really lucky and there's some sort of magical splash damage happening there. But yeah, in most circumstances, you're not getting through there with just 2 fire rod shots.
By the way, have we really not seen a map check from either runner yet?
No, we haven't.
I was just
Lady
realizing.
Laura Linda's been sitting there waiting for us to mark down what is pendants and crystals here in this light world, but it really doesn't matter at this point because we can't be any of them.
And the small key is in Dark Cross, so we don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, that's why Zelga did the wise save and quit right there. And Chloe's going to find out the information right there, too. All right, so now that we got the sword, now we can go down here to the south. Watch something nice be inside of the dam, like the hook shot that could have easily just taken care of the mini Moldorms. I mean, that sword is definitely nice. And just as a reminder, for those of you who are not used to the open hard, we are capped at, well, there's the second sword. We're capped at 3 swords. So you were mentioning before the broadcast, this is the third time that these two have had to face each other? Fourth?
They're the third tournament in which they've had to face each other. Because in the 2019 tournament, Groups was that best of 3 series. Lamp is nice.
Jurassic.
Aga.
I'm smelling a wizard.
But we could also find the hammer.
I mean, we could, but I'm smelling a wizard. I'm getting heavy whiffs of a wizard right now.
Neither of these runners checked Lumberjack, so we don't know.
It doesn't matter. I have a heavy scent right this moment. I'm getting asked by the bot overlord here, what does a wizard smell like?
Old Spice, clearly Old Spice, right? Hey, there's our first bottle in Mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah, we also got Sync Heart there.
So we're really loading up on the very few full heart containers that are actually in this seed. But I was going to say, when you were talking about swords, interestingly, that's the only thing that overflows to a green 20. So if we see a green 20 in this seed, it means that would have been the runner's butter sword.
Yes, and it's really sad when you find that green 20 on a path when you got tempered sword on a less than beaten path. Because you're thinking, oh my gosh, I got a nice tempered sword. These people are not going to get that tempered sword. I got something good that they're not going to get. And then all of a sudden, green 20, and then you're like, really? Well, screw you, game.
Hey, we should also remark about the bottle that bottles are guaranteed to be empty in this mode as well.
Yeah, because why give our runners nice things?
What is it? You can only get up to 2 of them?
1. This is the only bottle we're getting.
Oh, wow, okay.
Map check.
All regular crystals, it looked like.
Yep. That's what it looked like to me as well, even checking it out there on the replay. Zelga setting up the fake flippers. Went a little too far, but gets it there on the return. All right, so maybe we can sequence break that so-called hammer or Titan's mitts.
Yeah, you always feel good when you manage to skip a logically required Aga by doing something like fake flippering. We also do have a couple of checks on the mountain in logic, though without either mirror or hookshot, it's not really someplace you want to rush to.
Another piece of heart. Nice use of the invincibility frame by Khloe to get out of a really treacherous situation there with the bush crab, or not the bush crabs, but the crabs there.
Though at least with, 7 hearts, the sand crabs aren't as bad as they could be. Now 8 hearts.
Yeah, but with all of those clumped in one spot there, 7 hearts could really be like 1 heart ASAP. So I really did like that play by Khloe.
Oh, and Khloe is farming Zora money here. Again, Khloe hasn't checked the tree pulls, so they don't know that that's the easiest way to farm Zora money, but this is going to get them there.
Also, Zelga with that empty bottle could see what we have as our nice little bonus over here at the Waterfall Ferry. Gain a Samaria. I mean, that does nothing for us immediately, but that's a nice find. And we get a fairy in a bottle, so that is a nice safety right there.
Yeah, that, the bug net, and the potion shop are the only ways we're going to get stuff in bottles. Or bottle singular, since, as you said, they can only have one.
I mean, they could always buy a red potion for 150 ripped off rupees.
Yes, and then there's that one random Dark World shop that's adjusted in the rando to sell blue potions.
Yeah, but that's an ambrosia.
And Zora is selling love lessons. I am shocked.
I'm not.
I mean, it's only a quarter of the items in the seed, right? Almost.
We're getting our mushroom check here by Zelga, which, by the way, after a save and quit, if this turns out to be nothing, this is going to be a reset for Zelga to get that mushroom back for fake powder potential.
Right, now that we have Samaria, it makes sense. Like, if you don't have Samaria, you don't necessarily want to scum the mushroom, because who knows when Samaria will even show up. But if you do have it, it's a good play.
All right, what are we going to get for our mushroom over here? Khloe doing the whirlwind, and Zelga... Did Zelga just save? That was a save and quit. That's interesting. Okay, so we are not thinking about fake powder.
Interesting. But hey, takes all kinds, right? And here's the mountain play for Zelga, which gives us all of 2 items we can acquire and 1 that we can check on top of Spec Rock.
Mm-hmm. Zelga loading up on more rupees, and we're going to scout out the tree here before we go up the mountain. Because I think Zelga is getting that, hey, Aga could be required with as well. And
if Aga's required and we have neither the hammer nor the hook shot, we are going into pod. And
it looked like a piece of heart.
You want Kiki money.
That was just a very small sliver up the top of the screen. I don't know how Zelga can even see that with that much accuracy, but that's why Zelga is the number 8 seed, and I'm currently fending off the Challenge Cup.
Could also be how he crops his stream.
I mean, that's a possibility too.
Because I'm noticing Chloe's status bar at the top is just a little bit lower than Zelga's, which means that something on Zelga's side is cropped off the top. But it could be on Zelga's own stream, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Yep, you're right. And speaking of the bud catching net, there you go. Khloe had to go over here to Eastern.
Wait, we have not seen the Sage's Closet yet. We haven't seen the other Sage's Closet either.
Yay! 3/4 of a heart over there at Sahasrala's tonight. Open heart, everybody. Open heart. I think Zelga goes Aga at this point.
Yeah, but
nope,
Khloe...
we're going to Eastern.
Oh,
we are going to Eastern. We're
Since
gonna get
when does Zelga do Eastern without a bow? I mean, his team is the Eastern Skippers.
I mean, he does have an Eastern emote, doesn't he? Anyways, Zelga's about to get lucky with the 3/4 of a heart.
It's also entirely possible that Zelga gets those 3/4 of a heart and then does Aga.
I mean, that is a possibility. Who knows?
We shall see, right? There's our first item in Eastern.
Rupees, yay! And Zelga is going to Eastern.
Wow. His teammates would be ashamed of him if they were here.
That's probably why they're hiding.
And not
Good
because
move
it's
there by
another
Khloe
midnight
realizing
over
he had 0 bombs. Or they had 0 bombs, rather. Yippee.
Now, this lamp does put everything in Eastern in logic except for Armos Knights, which we can't get to without the bow.
Which is why we're going to find the big key and then the compass.
Most likely.
And have the third item be on the Armos Knights. Because why not?
Yeah, it's probably big key here, compass in the big chest, and then we have to go to the vanilla big key chest to actually get the other item. But if you're here, you kind of have to follow through on it.
Misfired on the toss of the pot there for Khloe. Has to take care of the other staffos now.
At least they're all dropping bombs.
There you go. There's your big key. All right. That is not a compass game. Jack commenting about how we have 9 hearts before we make it into the Dark World.
Well, when pieces of heart are turning up everywhere, whether you want them or not.
I mean, we found 3 heart containers, so that kind of helps too.
So if you're Khloe, do you do Aga right after this, or do you check Death Mountain first?
I'd love to see somebody make the play. Like I've been saying this to you ever since we got that second sword. That this thing has been, and the lamp too. That this thing has been smelling like Aga for the longest time. We did get the third item out of this Eastern. It was not the compass inside of that big key chest, and as such, we are not going to Aga. We are going to a. Okay, are we going to trade in the mushroom? Yep, we're trading in the mushroom.
And as chat also is remarking, remember, given our loadout, if we do Aga, we are basically forced into pod, and Khloe is nowhere near pod money.
Why?
Why is Khloe nowhere near pod money? Because
no. Why would this thing force you into pod? We're just gonna put the hammer right there on the pyramid ledge.
Oh, I suppose that is possible. Or you could go to Catfish.
Okay, then fine. We'll put the hammer on Catfish. Are you happy now? And there is the saving quip for Khloe. And in case you didn't know what Khloe's MSU was, there it is. All right, we're off to see the wizard for Zelga as Khloe heads to Death Mountain.
I guess that means we should probably get a prediction in for people to spend their hard-earned channel points.
Oh, sick kid turn in.
Ooh, right. Zelda never did that.
I forgot about this. Interesting. Now, if this turns out to be something that skips the upcoming Aga play, then so be it. Sick kid, what do you got for us?
Bombs that we could have used earlier.
Yippee. I'm so excited.
You know the hammer's just hanging out with Agena, right?
No, I told you where I thought the hammer's going to be.
I know where you think it is. I'm just...
The boots are going to be on Agena.
Okay, and here's Khloe going to check Lumberjack. Maybe we'll get a better view from here.
I bet we get a better view. I don't think we can get any worse of a view. Zelka getting poked there in the corner. Yep, there it is. Piece of heart.
Of course.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Yay!
So
one of our 48. So we're not getting 20 hearts this seed.
Hey, for other things you think, how many blue balls do you think we'll be getting, since that's the prediction in chat?
11.
No. Just no.
Why?
I'm trying to think how many is the most I've seen. Maybe I once saw 12.
11. Let's go. Let's just make this as boring and uninteresting as possible. And while we're doing that, let's go ahead and switch on over to, if we could, Lady Laura Linda, over to Zelga's music as we make our approach up to Agahnim.
Ooh, nice tense music, too.
I expect nothing else from Zelga.
Wasn't he doing Ace Attorney?
Yes. I mean, nobody will ever touch the epic 15. I'm just waiting for the one runner that gets more than 15.
I mean, if you miss, you can get as many as you want.
Exactly! That's what I mean. It's a 15 blue ball fight, but then because you missed one, now guess what? You just made it 18. Congratulations.
Well, I think your 11 is out of the question here. In fact, anything higher than 3 is out of the question, assuming Zelga doesn't miss.
How do you know this?
Because we haven't seen a blue ball yet and just got to the first lightning.
Are you telling me that we could possibly have the 0?
It's alive and well.
It's
There we
0. Speaking of that, we're going to Agahnim. Come on, show me the boots.
A few people are getting a nice payout, that's for sure.
Come on, show me the boots. That's not a hammer game. Oh, wait, I said catfish after a while. Blue pendant pod, green pendant over at Ice, and red pendant over at Meyer. 5-6, I saw Swamp, and the other one is Thieves House.
Wow, that was a lot to pick up. Nice job.
Having a 5-second delay watching it on the restream helps.
Hey, don't tell chat how we cheat.
4 heart containers. Green pendant was Ice Palace.
Yeah, so we're into pod without a bow or hammer. Don't you love it? Pendant pod, no less.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Zelga, gotta chase the monkey.
The Ropa doing its heavy-duty work.
Yeah, Zelga probably not used to coming through here without boots.
All right, here we go. Pendant Pod. Wasn't there a team name about Pendant Pod?
It's always sunny in Pendant Pod.
It doesn't look all that sunny to me.
Which I believe includes a couple of main tournament mods on it.
It definitely ain't sunny here in this pod. It looks kind of dark.
It's a matter of perspective. The people who live there, their eyes are probably used to it.
Alrighty, let's see what we have over here. There's the big key.
Always nice to just get that in front. Even when you're not go-moding it, it just is nice to get it out of the way.
And so at this point, Zelga is going to just go and play by the logic, not try to do any sort of mimic clipping. Oh, no, he will. He will. I see what we're doing. We're setting up for the inevitable death warp.
Yeah, interesting. I guess just because there's so many enemies, he figures it's easier to set up for it there.
He's got to get rid of that bottle with the fairy in it.
That is also true.
Oh, I see what we're up to here.
Fairy Revive is a way... Right, I forgot you could do that.
Yes. I forgot about that too, so why is it here by Zelga? Yeah, there you go. So in case you didn't think you could do it with a fairy in a bottle, there, Zelga just proved you wrong.
I think I've seen that maybe once before, twice tops.
Now Zelga has to set up another death warp. I do fairy revivals way too often.
Was that a 5-key front?
Not enough information exists because we haven't checked the big key chest.
Oh, we still have... Okay. Wait, was... I'm trying to think here.
What are you trying to think?
Well,
you seem confused here.
Because normally if you get a small key on that kind of jump-off ledge for arena...
5-key front?
Yeah. Then you usually do the big key chest straight away.
Yeah, but we got the big key in the ledge. That was the only non-small key that we got in the first first 6.
For some reason I had thought it was Stalfo's basement. My mind's going.
Stalfo's basement was a regular key, yeah.
Or my mind is already gone. Anyway, Khloe now in the Dark World.
Yep.
Hopefully appreciating the 0 blue ball fight.
Yeah, but Khloe is not appreciating the 38.
Is that how many small pieces of heart we have remaining?
No, that's the rupees in Chloe's current rupee count. And Khloe tried to do a tree pull before going into Agate Tower, but came up empty.
Could be interesting if Catfish has something important.
Why don't that just be the bow at this point? Or maybe the people that I keep clamoring for. Titan's Mitts in Pod.
So there's our progression. At least some of our progression. At least we have access to the Dark World besides Aga Portal now.
Bombos also in Harmless Hellway.
Which we may or may not need, because we only need to go into TR. And only
see, there's the hammer right there. It's shaped like a piece of heart, but it's the hammer.
I'm not used to Dark Maze actually being in logic. It's usually dark.
Yeah, I'm not usually used to seeing somebody with actually a lamp through this, so... What are these weird little barriers that's showing up? Oh, it's already... Well, that's a small whoops. And Tempered Sword, there we go. And Chloe's doing some farming up of rupees with the Hula Hand strats here to make sure that we get the 110 that we need to get into the Palace of Darkness. But with the Titan's Mitts, now we can go deeper into the Dark World. Fire Rod in our arsenal. I think Mothula's our first stop.
Especially given that it's a crystal.
Yes, indeed. Beatable dungeon, 2 items. Come on, everybody, let's go have some fun, especially with our Tempered Sword Mothula fight. But Zelga's going to go check in the bottle here for the sick kid. Get awarded with 1 bomb that he cannot have. And 2 that he can. All right, what do you think is going to be in Skullwoods? Why do we have this fire rod so early?
That's true. We did get that Sphere 1 back in the Lost Woods. So, let's see. Moth is not a 5/6, so it's not something that's going to guide us to Pyramid Fairy.
Yes, indeed. As we welcome in our audience that was coming in here watching us, or coming in watching from SpeedGaming, this is the first match of Group AC. We drafted Open Hard off the card deck, and this was an Aga required seed for Dark World access. We're really still just feeling out this seed, even though it's been a healthy seed.
The mitts were in Pod Rupee Basement. That's been our only real progression since beating Aga. Though the Tempered Sword in Pod Big Chest doesn't hurt. And that was one of our 2 items in Skullwoods, just, what do you know? A piece of heart.
Wow, such a unique item.
48's a unique number, right? There's only 148.
I've got nothing else to follow that by, so I'm just going to go ahead and just be prepared to see how many spikes wind up moving when Zelga shows Mathila who is business, or what's business, or whatever the expression is. Who's boss? That's
Who's
the expression.
The boss? That was an 80s sitcom.
Yes, it certainly was.
But yes, here's Moth, and as you said, given the early Fire Rod, it does seem like the second item in Skullwoods is going to be in the back, whether here or in Bridge Chest. It's a well-behaved Moth.
4 spikes moved. There's the big key.
Okay, maybe the item's in the big chest.
Could also still be downstairs under the bridge.
Well, that's what I was originally thinking, Moth or Bridge Chest, but we know the big chest doesn't have a small key because Moth can't lock a small key.
Khloe picking up the mitts right there. Not much else we can do with the mitts besides the northwest corner. No flute to bring us over towards 6. No hook shot to give us access to the other side. There's the powder.
That is our second item. I guess Zelga figures with this much health, it's easier to just walk out than Death Warp.
Yeah, you're going to be spending way too much time chasing after those Gibdos.
Now, we can't actually check Magic Bat without either the mirror or the hammer.
Yeah, so we table it for later.
Or we stick it in our pockets, more likely. I mean, magic powder would just kind of spill on the table. You want to keep it in its pouch.
Why are you so logical?
I was thinking you were just ignoring me, and I was going to have to calm the rest of the stream on my own.
I mean, that still is a possibility, but I was trying to come up with a witty comeback to that, but I had nothing.
Okay,
also, Khloe did not pay. Oh, mirror! Hi!
That's part of the puzzle, because remember, that cape was on Bottle Vendor, so that was another Sphere 1 item that we've just been carrying around.
By the way, Khloe did not get the bombos, but that was also because Khloe did not potion glitch or mimic clip the mimics to get those 2 small keys, so had to leave without the bombos in Harmless Hellway.
Though, did use Hammer Yump to get the Tempered Sword.
So, no, Khloe ended up going through the maze.
Oh, so Khloe used their final key, but is expecting
Yes.
not to have to come back to pod. Obviously, this is big if TR is Bombos. Otherwise, Chloe saved some time.
Yep, exactly. And that's where this could become a major issue later on, if that is the case. Anyway, Zelga checking Graveyard Ledge, and it turns out just to be some rupees that we were lacking earlier in the seed.
To answer chat about Zelga not checking the big chest, Zelga had both items already. Skullwoods only has 2 items.
Yep, the piece of heart was in the big key chest, and the magic powder was under the bridge where Chloe's just walking past right now. So that's the 2 items in this open heart. So Zelga knows he does not need to check the big chest at all. And chat's also bringing up the other aspect about this is Meyer could be Bombos, and Zelga gets baited in, Chloe stays out.
Oh, come on, the flute's in GT. We all know that.
I would have laughed if that was the flute right there. I would have seriously have laughed if that was the flute right there, as you just said it.
Though, that said, we are going to need access to desert, and this point, either the book or the flute would be equally likely for our desert access.
Oh, Chloe bouncing it all into the spikes right there. That was unfortunate.
Still takes down the moth, though.
Yes, I mean, it wasn't a horrible fight, but it could have been more problematic had Chloe continued to bounce into the spikes. Lost several hearts. One in there with full health, too, so that just showed how much Chloe got bounced around by that Mothula.
Now, the question for Zelga is, how's he gonna route this? I guess he's doing Thieves Town without the hammer. Maybe he'll just do the front. But I feel like, given the trail of breadcrumbs that have led us to Magic Bat, you have to check Magic Bat, but to do that, you have to lose your mirror portal.
Maybe this is a case where Zelga checks the first 4 and sees how many items we get. And we get the map. Because
yeah,
why
that's not a good start.
So Chloe finishing off with the Skull Woods knows they do not need to go back in to check the big chest. There's our big key of Thieves Town.
And we also have the small key, so we have not gotten a single item yet.
Ether. All right, Zelga is going to be doing this dungeon.
Yeah, now that's interesting because there is a 3 in 4 chance that there is an item in the big chest that we can't get without the hammer.
How many times has that burned our runners in the past?
More than I can count.
Yep, I know. How many times has that not burned our runners in the past?
Also more than I can count.
Exactly. Chloe doubles back. Realizes, I probably do want that mirror.
So chat also reminding us that it's also possible that the hammer's sitting in any of those other checks because we do have the small key, so we know nothing in the back is hammer locked except for the big chest itself.
There's the mirror pickup for Chloe. Silver arrows. Of course we found that before we found the bow.
The bow's probably very deep.
Welcome to Open Heart, everybody.
At the same time, at least we don't have to worry about silverless Ganon.
Welcome to Open Heart, everybody. ₹300 picked up for Chloe, who had to Houlihan before going into the Palace of Darkness. All right, the last thing you want to see at this point is a compass. That's not a compass, at least.
Okay, so 50-50 on where the last item is. It doesn't feel like Khloe is that far behind. At the same time, as long as Khloe just keeps tracing Zelga's footsteps, it will be hard for them to make up time.
Yeah, there's going to have to be a divergence at this point. And at this point, this feels rather linear. Of course, that Bombo still looms large. And of course, we've got to see what blind drops here as well.
Zelga, of course, being very seasoned, knows the blind script quite well.
Yeah, that seems pretty well. And the compass is in the big chest. We are not going to get messed over by doing Thieves Town, so Khloe is not going to be burned by going through here without the hammer as well. I can guarantee you that if it was me, I would be punished 100%, and it would be the Meyer Big Key, like it was in my League All Dungeon Key Sanity race against Zelga in Season 4. Yeah, I'm not salty about that one either, chat.
That was only a year and a half ago.
It still burns.
It's still more recent than the last time these two runners faced each other.
I know. Chat's getting their salt out right now. I mean, there is salt in that powder, right? Drosy, you're not helping.
Well, we needed a lot more salt.
That might not be enough. We might have to go to Costco.
Okay, so what's Zelga gonna do now? Is he maybe gonna grab the smith and take it to...
I feel this is the move you've got to make, yeah. By the way, SpeedGaming is not brought to you by Costco. Not affiliated with Costco.
Or Morton Salt.
Or Morton Salt.
I literally can't name any other brands of salt.
I don't know why I went with Costco. I've never been to a Costco. There's the silvers. There's our other sword.
Vanilla, in fact.
Yes, nice vanilla right there from our breadsmiths. Because why not? Zelga's choosing not to do Magic Bat. Interesting.
I'm surprised. This could be our divergence if Khloe takes the powder and does Magic Bat.
Great value brand salt.
Costco probably has like Kirkland brand salt or whatever.
Alright, going into K45 to find 20 rupees. We do not need at this point.
Yes, even Khloe has plenty of money for a change now that we don't need it.
The game knows. And heart piece number, I lost track of this point.
We'll say number 10 because in some base it is number 10. Might be base 15, might be base 6. But in some base it's number 10.
Zelga leaving the chest behind as he goes and checks out what we have in the hype cave. The hype cave that really hasn't been hype in 5 years.
Oh, the hammer's probably on Magic Bat.
In case you came into Hype Cave without bombs, the NPC provides. There's our flute. Zelga trying to chest turn that 3 times and misses.
And that's why chest turning is not worth it.
I mean, the flute was nice. All right, Khloe finishing off the blind fight, and now is going to be completing the village of Overcast.
Yes. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs?
That's a movie.
That was a book.
It was both.
There.
Hookshot!
Oh!
Purple chest!
Well then, that's kind of interesting.
Here we go, back to activate the flute.
And
I was about to say, we don't have access inside Misery Mire if we have the medallion, but guess what?
Yeah, well, also, we have access to the full mountain now.
Yes, we do. And that's probably where Zelga's going to go after activating the flute. So explaining something to chat in regards to the reason why Zelga was able to turn in that purple chest without having the chest with him. It's still considered a follower right after he does the mirror transition. There's a limited amount of time that you can turn in the chest. And this has been really showcased when runners find the boot, so that way they can just leave it behind at K45 and just dash all the way to the NPC.
And that's a really annoying dig game that it was 20-some digs just for bombs.
Alrighty, Zelga checking this flute immediately to see what we have, because this is what the next progression chain could be. So why not check this first before we go up the mountain? It is Ether to get in, which is the medallion we found inside of Thieves Town.
And we also have that Cane of Samaria. Well, the Cane of Samaria is still out of logic. It is logically behind the flippers, isn't it?
You're right. That was
Because
inside of the waterfall fairy.
Right, I was going to say early Cane, but wait a minute, it was early, but it was out of logic.
Zelga popping. Looks like we're going to be going into Desert Palace next. We don't know if we can beat this dungeon.
So let's see how Khloe now plays this, because I'll be really intrigued. Mirror's still out. We are
we're
doing
going.
Magic Bat.
We are going. Now, if this turns out to be the hammer, this is going to be rather big for Khloe.
And it also means that if it's a hammer, Khloe can get back to their portal and just continue the regular Smith Chain route.
Alrighty, there's the big key for Zelga. We can finish this dungeon, and that is the flippers!
We also need it.
Well, the cane is technically in logic, friends.
I mean, it was enough cookie crumbs given the early fire rod, early cape, and then the fire rod got us the powder, the cape got us the mirror.
Khloe walking the long way back with that chest now.
Which is interesting because the only thing Khloe's going to get for the trouble of doing this via the Dark World route is that flute, which we don't even know if we need, but we might, depending where the book is.
I mean, it does at least make you go a little faster. Allows you to go a little faster. I mean, that's a plus right there. Did we see both items inside of this desert, or did we just get that one with the blue rupee?
I can't count. Counting to 2 is hard.
1.
1.5. 3.
Chat, help me. Help. 7. That's it. 7. Alrighty, here we go. Fire rod out for Zelga. It's just too bad you can't just hurl those silver arrows at these land molders.
Wow. Oh, he missed. I
Yeah,
was
he
going to
missed.
say that was a super quick fight, and then I realized he actually missed one shot.
No, that would be 2 items. We get 55 rupees inside of this desert palace. There's the hookshot for Khloe.
And Khloe did not do Hype Cave on
Nope.
route, but looks like they're doing it now.
Yep, that will give Khloe the answer to the flute.
Hey, Rick, you know what we could do now?
What could we do right now?
We could do the first chest of swamp.
Ew!
I'm sure the hammer has never been in the first chest of swamp.
I remember doing well on the qualifier because it showed up in the first chest of swamp once.
Or twice or 3 times, you know.
Zelga checking the Agahnim, which was something that Khloe did earlier. If you ever wondered why Khloe had more hearts than Zelga, well, there's going to be the answer right here as Zelga picks up the 4th heart container we see. Oh, right. That's right. Khloe made a mistake right there. Because we defeated Agahnim, we have to mirror back to the light world, then start again.
I'm actually a little bit disappointed that Khloe didn't do first chest swamp. Not that Khloe knows that was their best way to press their advantage, but it was their best way to press their advantage. Of course, we know we will need to do swamp eventually, and we also know that the cane is logically behind the flippers. We haven't used the cane for anything yet, but we could full clear Pendant Mire if we wanted to.
All right, here is the activation of the flute for Khloe as Zelga gets ready to show us what is in the 7-item Paradox Cave. Starting here on the bottom or top, depending on what you feel it is. A whole lot of nothing. What are we getting up here, Drosy? Nothing. Hammer!
Oh, that's where it was.
I'm disappointed now.
So am I. That was too obvious.
Well, we're about ready to get to a very critical juncture of this game, by the way.
You mean where Zelga fails the bomb jump and has to cycle around?
That's not the one I was talking about, but Zelga has decided, screw this, I'm just going back up the portal. Although that could have just been him remembering he had the portal and just messed out of the, or...
But yes, the question is, what is the TR medallion?
Yes, indeed, because the bombos that Zelga has that Khloe doesn't was in harmless hellway of the Palace of Darkness that required both of these runners to go into to get the mitts. Khloe opted not to do any sort of sequence breaking with regards to the mimics on the right side, so did not pick up the 2 keys over there. So therefore did not go into did not go into harmless hellway.
But look what Khloe is doing. Diving Pendant Mire.
So we're about to get some very important information, friends. If this is bombos, this is bad for Khloe. It's ether. We did not need the bombos for anything.
But this is I mean, Khloe's got to feel behind at this point, given how they routed the light world before Aga and how they had to farm up rupees on a few occasions because they never did do the tree pull to discover that the tree pull was big 20s all around.
Blue rupee, one of our 2 items inside of this Pendant Mire. Nothing so far in hookshot, still nothing. And a whole lot of nothing inside of this hookshot cave.
That spiked chest in Mire had to be either a small or a big key to logically open up other things in the dungeon.
Zelga going into the Tower of Hera. So we are now missing 2 pieces for no mode.
We still need that bow, and I guess just the ice rod as well, right?
Yep, those are the 2.
Okay, there are 2 of our small keys so far.
Zelga getting a piece of heart instead of this Tower of Hera.
Ooh, spicy. Meyer big key in compass chest, which means that 3rd small key can be anywhere in Meyer now with the new logic.
It's probably just on Vitreous at this point.
Hey, and we got both of our items in Hera, and Zelga's able to skip the compass chest.
And you feel good about having to skip the downstairs too.
Yeah.
There's the key. And compass found, and Khloe is saying, I'm out of here.
Interesting, because I feel like, especially since you've put that Samaria in logic, you risk Vitreous at that point if you're going to all that trouble of doing Meyer anyway. You've dug yourself into enough of a hole, you kind of have to just commit to it, I would think.
You would think so, just... I don't... Khloe probably feels I've gotten nothing out of here. I've seen one item. I can't be diving deep into pendant dungeons while Zelga's doing all of these crystal dungeons at this point. I don't know.
I mean, it's like... Especially with an opponent like Zelga, Chloe's got to know they're behind, and their best way to catch up is some really out there play, and that really out there play could be the 2nd item in Meyer.
Yes, indeed. I think there's one thing that does concern me here.
What's that?
Khloe isn't pressing the advantage of the flippers.
Yeah.
But then again, Ice Palace is a green pendant. And we don't have a hammer.
Right.
So I guess I can understand it.
There is First Chest Swamp, but we also know that the hammer is available in Logic, even without the flippers.
Yep. So the question now becomes, how much of this game is going to funnel Zelga to other locations before he comes to the comes to the idea that he needs to get those flippers off Magic Bat?
Yeah, he has the hammer now, so I would think it's entirely possible once he finishes in TR, he can just flute to 3. But do you want to flute to 3 for just 1 check?
I mean, if we get the bow, we can flute to 5 for 1 check. Oh no, we can flute to 5 for 0 checks just to beat the crystal. We've already found all 3 items inside of Eastern.
Right, but we do need that crystal.
Yes, indeed.
For all we know, the bow is the 2nd item in Meyer.
That would be awful.
That's the thing about this mode with non-progressive bows. There is one bow, and it can be anywhere that isn't, on Armos or Helma King or locked behind them.
You know the worst feeling is?
What?
When Eastern and Pod turn out to be pendants in this mode.
Yes. Then you got to get your mimic clips down for the GT climb potentially. But
forfeit?
As it is, at least we know Bo isn't on Ped.
Forfeit?
Ice Rod, of course, could be on Ped.
Why would you wish this upon our runners?
I mean, I'm just saying it's possible, not that I want it to be there. Chat wants it to be there, but I don't.
Why don't we listen to Twitch chat? Put your comments in the YouTube chat. YouTube comments. Why do you listen to Twitch chat? Find, like, subscribe.
I thought you were asking Twitch chat to right now tell us why they listen to Twitch chat.
No.
Twitch chat trying to absolve themselves of all responsibility if Ice Rod is on Ped.
Alrighty, here we go. The mountain play for Khloe as Zelga gets ready to show us the greatness that is Mimic Cave. That's the bombs.
So, again, in terms of advantages, Khloe could press to be back in this. Not diving TR and going to Swamp, which will be full clearable for Khloe once they get the hammer, could be something.
Yes, indeed.
We haven't really gotten anything in TR, have we? I mean, we got Quake and Burna, neither of which does anything for us.
I mean, we got a piece of heart, didn't we?
Several, probably, statistically.
We got a compass. That should account for something. Right?
I suppose. We can find Trinex now, except that we don't have the Fire Rod to beat it.
Ice Rod.
Ice Rod. Rod. Some sort of rod. It's either red or blue.
Wasn't there a rod in the Minish Cap game?
I never actually played Minish Cap, believe it or not.
Key.
That had to be somewhere on the bridge.
Heart container 5.
I think that's our last heart container.
Burrito. Absolutely trash.
So, Wither Zelga now. Spiral Cave.
That's actually pretty heads up here for Zelga. This is why Zelga is the player that he is, because he thinks about these kind of things. Of course, the amount of cross keys that he winds up doing, I guess it kind of goes hand in hand. All right, Spiral. Oh gosh, that's not absolute trash.
Gotta go fast.
That does give us 2 more checks that we can take a look at. And we're going to immediately take a look at those 2 right now.
This is faster than saving and quitting to Sank? I guess maybe marginally.
Somebody quickly pull out the practice hack and give us the stat numbers on this. Oh, portal save potential. Chat's bringing up that potential.
Ooh, yes, that is true. We can't portal save from the Dark World because we've beaten Aga, but as long as we stay in the Light World, which actually gives Zelga incentive to do Magic Bat now.
Yes. And Zelga with the flute out. Where are we going? We are hitting the flute. And we're going to
Magic bat. No?
3.
We're going to... Okay, he's...
Losing the
Gonna-
portal. So
Yeah.
there goes that.
So what is he going to do from this portal that we haven't already done?
Hammer pegs.
Oh, yes, hammer pegs.
Hammer
Good
pegs.
call.
Good call right there. And he can do that together with the Magic Bat, so he does have an out that makes Magic Bat not quite isolated.
So there goes Khloe's advantage. I'm going to laugh if the bow's in mire. I mean, I will both laugh and cry if the bow's in mire, because it will be sad that Khloe didn't, press their
Here we
advantage
go,
and get it.
Zelga. Get about to get those flippers. And then I would assume, if you're Zelga, your next stop, Swamp Palace. This game is great, isn't it?
So yeah, Zelga's got to go to Swamp now. It's just, it's a full clearable crystal. And in fact, the only crystal we can get, because the others are locked by Bow and Ice Rod.
But you know what this also does, Drossi?
What? Pyramid Fairy?
Pyramid Fairy. This does open up the Pyramid Fairy aspect as Khloe gets the Tower of Hera crystal. So if Khloe winds up going straight to Spiral, they will save a little bit of time, although Zelga still has the lead, but it looks like we're going to see Khloe walking over the portal. Nope,
Oh.
we're going to open up Turtle Rock, and we're probably going to die that as well.
That's unfortunate because, from Khloe's perspective, they have a full clearable crystal. And the whole ABCD, always be clearing crystal dungeons.
Wasn't that the mantra back in 2021?
Maybe? What is it now? Always be clearing pendant dungeons?
No.
Always be double dipping?
Oh, I mean, what you do with potato chips is none of my business.
Hey, if I really like the sauce... Anyway, let's join Zelga in Swamp Palace and Khloe in Turtle Rock.
Was there anything in Turtle Rock? The answer is, well, not really.
Do you like blue canes and wavy medallions?
Yes.
Well, then there was something in Turtle Rock as Khloe takes a death, but...
There's the fairy.
Right, because they didn't do right side pod.
Mm-hmm.
Zelga is doing left side swamp, for better or worse.
Might as well at this point. You're still go -2. I just thought of where the bow could be that's in a disgusting spot.
What's more disgusting than the second item in Mire?
Green pendant turn-in.
That's true. Ice is logically full clearable.
With Coldster having a key, so therefore it was a Samaria required Ice Palace.
Right, that's what I meant with Samaria and Hookshot. we have a full loadout to logically clear it regardless of item layout.
Mm-hmm. Another heart piece. Vanilla. Really not much else to say.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Khloe can make up time skipping left side swamp.
Maybe.
And hey, if the answer is Meyer, Khloe's already cleared out most of it, whereas Zelga would have to clear out most of it first.
More vanilla.
Vanilla bombs in the swamp big chest?
No, compass.
Oh.
Welcome to the world of vanilla. Of course, we know that vanilla doesn't exist inside of Eastern Palace, but maybe the bow turns out to be on the Pyramid Ferry, where the silvers normally are. I think they call that French vanilla. Silver spoons, getting back to 1980s sitcoms.
Well, you know what they say, shovel is the true go mode, therefore it must be on dig spot. What would also be ugly is Ice Rod in some horrible location and then bow on Trinex. That would probably break my Kokom.
Can we get a 0 cycle? No, we can't. So I'm having a little bit of issues there. Just got bonked out, and now just has to take care of the fight. Looks like we're just going to go ahead and do some spins around. Oh, we don't have enough magic to do fire rod shots. That explains it.
Good spins, though.
Yes, and there were some arrows to go with that bow that we do not have yet.
So what do we have left? We have Pyramid Fairy. We obviously have the second item in Mire and 4 items in Ice if we include the Green Pendant Turn-In and Spike Cave. Is that about it?
Shovel.
Oh, right, Shovel.
Which is where Zelga's going immediately. And I do like the comment here in chat in regards to your goal is just to name as many league team names in this broadcast as you possibly can. If you start speaking German, I'm out of here.
Well, we've already been to Skull Wood, so I can't invoke the Ganget from Dödskaleskugen.
Goodbye.
That was Swedish! You just told me not to speak German.
Zelda, chill on the team days. Oh, goodness. All right.
Well, I mean, you could say that with his current loadout, Zelda's being a real bomb squad. No, Khloe. Okay, phew. Khloe almost saved and quit. Let's see it. No, they didn't think to do Spiral Cave though the way Zelga did. I mean, that was such a heads-up play by Zelga, and unfortunately, it means Khloe's not getting the boots anytime soon.
Yeah. All right, T. You better watch it before I knock you to Spearfinity.
Well, I mean, Spherefinity no longer exists. They missed playoffs.
Catfish check.
I know. You know, Chloe's chances to come back at this point are really a long shot.
How long ago is it since we got the Titans mitts?
Been a while. So.
All right. Nice palace. Good rotting by Zelga.
Okay, so Chloe's probably gonna do swamp here. What are you doing in my swamp palace, though?
I'm not there. Okay. Chat, I'm okay.
I mean, Rick's broken, but this usually happens by an hour plus into a race with no go mode in sight.
Hey, I want to say something here, honestly. My condolences to Lady Laura Linda, who's had to listen to us for the last hour and 19 minutes.
Oh, but she is doing a nice job cataloging what we have left in chat.
Yes, indeed.
And reminding us that the book could show up and put 2 tablets in logic. I'm sure you'd just love to see the book right now. We could also...
Hey, there's our half magic.
Yay. So, Chloe skipped that second check in Mire. Will they also skip Left Side Swamp? They also skipped Spiral Cave.
I just hope Khloe doesn't start thinking about going back into the Palace of Darkness at this point. Ice Rod in Ice Palace.
Okay, Ped's officially dead.
So now the next question turns out to be...
Is the bow on Trinix?
Yeah. Well, really the question is, how many items did we find inside of Turtle Rock?
I think we saw both the map and compass, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
Our tracker says she only counted 4.
It feels like it was 7 hours ago with all of these team name references. Drosy is now currently trying to think of another team name. Trying to pull one out of his hat. I wonder when he's going to go with the obvious choice. Well, there's the key on Cold Stare.
Okay. There's our logical requirement for Samaria beyond Turtle Rock, though regardless, flippers were logically required for Ice Palace anyway.
All right, as we flew to probably at this point 5 and then back up to TR to defeat Trinex, although, again, I don't know if we have an item on Trinex. I should have been paying more attention. I'm a bad commentator for that reason.
You were just trying to, ignore my use of Swedish. I understand where your priorities are.
Sorry, friends, there was no bow on Sahasrara.
And there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out. But Zelga is going to presumably beat Trinex. Maybe we'll see a Spike Cave while he's up here.
Did you just reference Casey at the bat?
Yes.
Okay, so we've gone TV references, book references. What's next for this?
I don't know. I mean, doesn't Casey at the bat date to like the 19th century? That's pretty historic at this point.
Yes. I mean, I could quote Charles Dickens and by be saying it's been the best of times, it's been the worst of times, and that could be just talking about the hour and 23 that we've been dealing with the seed.
And it's going to be a lot longer because it is a walk for Zelga to get to Trinex here, and Khloe, unfortunately for them, has done left side swamp.
And unfortunately, if you're rooting on for Khloe at this point, honestly, I'm trying to think of any out at this point for Khloe.
If they somehow just go back to Meyer and it's the second item in Meyer.
Yeah, but then Khloe still needs to get that brain play to go back into or go into Ice Palace.
That's also true.
Because once Zelga gets done with this Trinex fight, as somebody is pointing out in chat, we do not have a whole lot left over besides the Meyer play. And that really is a feels bads man if it does turn out to be that bow, either in cutscene chest or on Vitreous.
But you're on the mountain, so you go over to Spike Cave next.
Yes, which is another place we haven't gotten. All right, Khloe going up against the Argus fight. Pretty solid fight here for Khloe. Looks like it's going to be a one cycle. Yeah, definitely a one cycle here. Nice. Gets it done right there without much of an issue for Khloe. Gets the 10 arrows. Zelga with a nice dash right there. I've got to learn where to exactly to set up my dash strats there. I always seem to miss.
Nice quad with the backdoor strats for the Firehead there.
Mm-hmm. Still going to be a one cycle because it's Tempered Sword, but pretty solid fight here for Zelga. Khloe getting set up to do Pyramid Fairy. And this is where not having the boots just unfortunately is going to hurt Khloe.
Yeah, it just bleeds more time.
Alrighty, the item spawning in the middle is just a piece of heart.
So Spike Cave or the second item in Meyer has to either be the bow or the book leading to the bow. I think we're out of options otherwise.
I'm going to cry if it turns out to be the book.
I mean, at least it's only 2 more checks.
I'm going to cry if it turns out to be the book.
Remember, what was it, like V28, where there was an error in the logic and the tablets could never actually have progression?
Well, that's why I kept losing all those races. I just remember the V21 where there always seemed to be something in Turtle Rock.
Well, that's well before my time.
All right, Spike Cave is... There it is.
The D.
1 hour, 27 minutes, and 35 seconds. Zelga is in go mode.
And we've had that available ever since we got the hammer.
Just think of how this race could be if one runner decided to take the Spike Cave check and the other didn't. But both runners did make the Turtle Rock play. Turtle Rock was the heavier option.
Right, the more surprising thing, was kind of Khloe doing neither. And, like, usually if you're on the mountain, you do one of Spiral Cave or Spike Cave.
Yeah.
Because it's often hard to do both. But Khloe did neither, and unfortunately, that is going to bite them.
Yeah, Khloe did safety door strats for the laser bridge. And this is where Zelga's showing off how well he knows how to do the laser skips. Kind of comes into play, and that is something that Zelga definitely uses to great proficiency when he runs cross key modes, because laser bridge can show up at any time, even like in the first 5 minutes when you don't have any safeties.
So in cross keys, you're supposed to have safeties to put it in logic. That doesn't mean Zelda waits for them.
Yeah, but when you find it in Kakariko Village 5 minutes into the game, you're checking it because it's for free items.
Oh, absolutely. And to reiterate, cross keys was actually the last time these two runners faced each other, as Khloe gets their Ice Rod and Freezor chest.
You said 2021, right?
Yep. I don't even remember who won that tournament in the end.
I was going to say, wasn't that Goomba, but I'm not 100% certain.
Yes, that was Goomba, you're right.
Yeah, I thought Goomba had won a cross keys tournament. I'm sure Goomba's getting ready to try to take the reins back in 2023 when they do that tournament. Khloe trying to do some hitting strats over here. Does get the casing broke off.
But is out of magic. And is just going to get a small key, but, this is green pendant, so at this point you kind of have to check it.
And just as a reminder for everyone who may be just getting used to the group stage, this is the first of what will be 6 matches for these runners. Each runner will face off against each other twice, and then each runner will be facing off against the other 2 opponents in their group twice. Now, the one thing to know, I guess we got to do a game here since everyone's talking.
Yeah, there are numbers in chat.
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this as Zelga makes the climb up. So there are, let me see, 22 possibilities in Ganon's Tower to where this big key's going to be.
21 and a half. Tile room only counts as half a check.
No matter what the mode of this tournament is, you're always going to have the big key to Ganon's Tower be in Ganon's Tower. If it's Ambrosia, if it's Fad keys, they've been programmed to have the big key there. All right, so pick a number. Where do you think it's going to be? All right, let's get back to our regular broadcast here, Drossi.
Rick, you know why 21 and a half in tile room doesn't count as a real check, right?
Why?
Because if we spend too much time there, then we're tile roomies.
Excuse me.
I think I've been banned.
Check number 1 is 20 rupees. Check number 2 is a compass. Drossi, what's check number 3?
Bob's torch.
And it is?
Bombs. As Khloe gets one big red bomb.
My apologies to Zelga and Khloe as you watch this back. Still no big key, but 2 smalls over here. So, I guess to get back to what I was originally saying. So, in this group stage, each runner will be facing off against each other twice. There are 4 members into this group, so as a result, there will be 6 total matches. So a loss here by Khloe is not the end of the world. Also, to point out, the second match between these two, between Zelga and Khloe, is guaranteed to not be open hard because you can't have the same mode against your opponent twice.
I believe it's only if they play it next, because if they play other opponents in the meantime, that would influence the cards in their deck.
Well,
if you play the same opponent 2 times in a row without playing anyone else in between, that's true. But I believe if you play someone else in between, it changes.
I'll have to check with Cynic on the programming of the deck in that case, just to make sure. So I assumed it was that the game knows what you played against each other.
And, well, I'd be interested to hear from Cynic. He was here earlier, if he's still here.
Still no big key in here, so we're going to be going to check number 14 in just a moment as Khloe is heading to grab that bow. So Khloe will save a little bit of time by making Turtle Rock their last check, but I think it's too little too late at this point.
Yeah, especially without the boots. By the way, since we were discussing this group, the other members of this group are Matt798, our 2021 SpeedGaming Live winner, and Red Kitsune, a member of the Spanish community, I believe.
Yep, Matt being the second quartile in this group, Red Kitsune being the 4th quartile.
That means that, you know, if Khloe and Red Kitsune were the ones to advance, it would be Oops All Foxes out of the group. I wasn't the one who put 2 foxes in the same group. I'll just say that. Anyway, so compass room or tile room?
Please be here so we can wrap this up.
This is the seed that doesn't end.
There's a key there, so this is going to be here. And there it is, check number 20. So if you picked number 20, congratulations. You are the winner of apparently Drosy singing on commentary. For once, it's not me.
I mean, we have to balance it out somehow. How often do I sing on comms? Not very. But yes, we are on the climb now. This should be about a 142 if I had to guess.
You do worry a little bit when you are sitting at 136 and you haven't finished. Now, Zelga is a good runner, but we also know that Zelga continuously thinks that he is last locating and behind. And yes, he did pretty much almost last locate that bow, because after that, all he had left was the checks in Misery Mire.
But for those of you who weren't here at the beginning, just to sum up, like, how this seed was different from the start, Zelga checked the Tier 1 tree pull, which turned out to be red rupees, which gave him a lot of money off the bat, whereas Khloe had cash flow problems pretty early on.
Yep, 80 rupees per those Tier 1 tree pulls, and they do add up, especially when Khloe had to do Houlihan after doing Aga to get the 110 needed to get into the required Palace of Darkness.
And Zelga, with that kind of money, just bought bombs. Khloe tried to get them from 50-50 drops out south of the Grove and just got really unlucky there. And so Khloe's basically been behind ever since that, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. And Khloe, if they made the right play and Misery Mire, if that was the right play, Khloe would be in a pretty good seat right now. If that bow or the ice rod was in Pendant Mire, Khloe is well on their way to perhaps knocking off the number 1 quartile in this match. But it's just unfortunate that the Mire dip turned out to be empty, and Zelga just made the right moves.
But as we said, both of these runners have 5 more games in groups.
Yep.
Anything can happen.
And that's why I point out the 5 additional matches here, because both of these runners, they are great runners. They do deserve to be in this tournament. They do deserve, they pulled in their chops during the qualifiers.
Fun fact, last year Khloe was the final qualifier for brackets out of groups, the number 64 seed in brackets. Just made it, but they made it.
Taking a look at the scores here for both of these runners, Khloe's biggest score was Zelga's worst score.
For the quals, you mean?
Yep. Khloe got a 97 in standard boots. Zelga, 89. And it was a race that both of them were in the same qualifier. So that does show that Khloe can take down Zelga if the seed allows. Just this one did not allow Khloe to get that edge.
Oh, yes, and I was looking again at their history in the... So the 2020 Cross Keys tournament actually ran quals, and there was a qual where Khloe finished quite a bit ahead of Zelga.
Anyway, Zelga, during our entire discussion, has climbed Castle or Ganon's Tower, whatever this tower was.
With a triple-double, no less.
And about to go face off against Ganon. 17 hearts. We have the cape. We have the Cane of Burna. I think we're pretty fine here. We've got the Tempered Sword. Zelga probably going to go for the 1-in-1. 6 hits already. Make it 10, 11, and... Okay, we got 12 somewhere. Anyways, Zelga's perfectly fine over here. Oh, this is the best setup here for the 1-in-1. Beautiful job by Zelga. Zelga just knows how to do this fight. You can tell that he's been well practiced in this fight. And now we just wait for Ganon to stop warping so we can get the floor to crumble in here in stage 3. Tyler Salt pointing out that Khloe Prower has made the semis of that casual boots tournament. And here we go, 1 silver arrow, lighting up both of those torches. Zelga missing on one of the shots, but is still going to get a double over here. 1 final fire rod, or rather 1 final silver arrow. That will do it. Zelga opens up the 2023 tournament with a win over Khloe Prower. Get your GGs in chat.
And he will cross the bridge and finish with an official race time of 1:41.38.
And we're going to be seeing it in about a minute from now, but Khloe's going to realize what wound up happening and will hit the DNF button. So
yeah,
get your GGs in chat for Khloe Prower as well.
My next fight. Now, the Where's My Burrito would have been better if Ganon had given his speech about the spicy barbacoa burrito.
Missed opportunities. I think Khloe probably saw the result as they were doing this ending of the fight. Anyway, so get your GGs in chat for Khloe Prower. And we welcome in the race winner, Zelga. How you doing?
I am very stressed, but happy with a win. So GG's, thank you.
So I believe one of the ending Triforce texts usually have said in the past, how about that bow placement?
Yeah, that bow, that was a thing for sure. Along with every other awkward overworld check, like You get the powder so you could mirror instead of doing the smiths to get your flippers, but if you don't, then you miss your hook shot. There's a lot of gross in this.
Yeah, and we do welcome in Khloe Prower in here as well. GG's to you.
Hi-yo, GG's.
Yo, GG's.
Well, Chloe did actually get the flippers and then immediately go back into Dark World and get the hook shot.
I considered that. I just felt like without boots or flute or like something, it just didn't feel quite right for me to do it. But that's definitely the way to do it if you're gonna. And then obviously it had the chance to really pay out.
But unfortunately, what actually swung the seed was the tree pull at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
the tier
yeah.
1 tree pulls.
By the way, bushes are 50-50, I'm sure, but
Or 1 in 8, apparently.
Yeah,
that was 1 in 10.
Oh,
yeah, you definitely struggled, and that did give Zelga a lot of time to at least get that opening game started out. Now, you did have opportunities in this seed, like you did take that play over into Misery Mire, and if Misery Mire turned out to be the play where the bow was, or the ice rod, different story as far as the seed is concerned. Just was quite unfortunate that nothing turned out to be in that Misery Mire, and Zelga was on the right path for much of the seed.
I mean, I felt slow getting to Aga. At that point, I was probably 4 minutes behind. Just overall, especially, even more so if Zelga had decided to skip anything. And there was nothing in the light world at that point.
I think
Even
the
though
only... I think really the only thing that put you behind Zelga was the fact that you fully made sure that Aga wasn't going to be required before you went to Aga by checking Agina.
The Glove in the Moon Pearl was so early.
Yeah, I
I
know.
thought for sure something
Yeah.
else would be too.
oh yeah, the other thing was Zelga, I believe. Zelga, did you ever check Sick Kid?
Yeah, I did.
He did when he got, I think, the second trip into the Dark World, I think.
Yeah, after Pod, when I got the mitts, when I was just headed over there to Dark World that way, I went ahead and stopped by Sick Kid.
Yeah, I gambled really hard on it not being Aga. As whatever, it happens.
I mean, I didn't have much left. It was just Sick Kid and Agina.
Right.
And so you did not safety door when you checked Laser Bridge. You showed off how comfortable you are doing the laser skips there in order to get all 4 chests. Didn't have to rely on going back out that safety door, and thus therefore you were able to mirror right back to the TR bridge, which got you into Spiral Cave. Nice boots.
Yeah, there's not much that feels worse than whenever you walk through an entire dungeon skipping one specific check. Like, worst case scenario, maybe it's like a bow or flippers. I wasn't even considering the fact that the boots would have been there. That felt bad.
Yeah,
but
I thought they were in GT. Or maybe full lock pod. Right side of pod.
all you're going to find are 2 keys over there behind the mimics. One other thing that we thought was going to turn this race at one point was the fact that because Zelga did do the mimic, nice fairy revival to get the bottle glitch, by the way, Zelga.
Yeah, it's definitely uncommon.
Yeah.
But I also, I was thinking about it on the way to Pod, and I instinctively purposely got hit by a Ropa and then lost Kiki because I wasn't actually using my brain whatsoever.
Okay, that explains some parts of that.
Yeah, you have to Giga Brain into a full circle of numb, smooth brain back to getting hit with Kiki when I was trying to think about the fairy revive.
But it turned out to be Bombos was in Harmless Hellway, so we were concerned for a little bit that Bombos was going to actually be required.
Oh, yeah, because 2 keys were on the right, and...
Yep.
Either, yeah, I guess you had to choose between Bombos or getting the sword.
Mm-hmm. Turned out to be, in that case, not to be, but just few things that just could have changed the path of this race just did not in this case. And Zelga, you're our 1-0 in this opening stage of the tournament. And Khloe, what do you look forward to in your next 5 matches? What mode are you hoping to play in the next 5 races?
I like Ambrosia. That one's been fun. I know it's very controversial.
Yeah,
but-
we know. I, speaking as an admin, definitely know about how polarizing Ambrosia can be.
But Invert has been controversial since the moment it came out, so it's nothing new.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I would definitely rather avoid the inverted as much as possible, but I will admit that it's definitely a different way you have to think about the game, and in the long run, even if I'm not a fan, it's a good thing to exist.
Remember when it first came out and we played it without any sort of key shuffle? Just straight inverted?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't... Honestly, I almost preferred it when it first came out, but then after you just play enough of them, you start seeing all the patterns, and I don't know, it felt really weird. Like, you just get funneled into Aga every time, and then you do all of Kakariko, and then, yeah. I don't know. Inverted is not my thing, but I appreciate that it exists. I'll put it that way.
So Khloe over here is sitting down, writing on a piece of paper, please Ambrosia for the second match between these two.
I mean, overall, all the modes are pretty fun this year. I don't have any complaints about the modes that were picked.
Thank you very much. And so have either of you scheduled your upcoming matches yet, as far as the overall group is concerned?
I have a race coming up with Matt Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern, but that's the only one I have right now on the schedule.
And what about you,
We're
Khloe?
still working on it.
I mean, we still have 2+ weeks remaining of this, just early in the stage, so plenty of time to get those matches on in, and good luck to the both of you when we get to your upcoming 5 races.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Big GGs to Khloe, and yeah, thank you for the commentary, the tracking, the restream. Really appreciate it.
Well, you say that now, but when you listen to this back, are you really going to be thanking us?
I mean, probably. We'll see.
Well, I'm going to hold you to this, Zelga. I'm going to hold you to this.
All right.
Anyways, that's going to do it for this match here. If you're looking for more Link to the Past randomizer, well, coming up here at 10:10 is going to be our next restreamed matches. Going to be over on SpeedGaming 3. We got BSJ versus Average Frustrated Gamer. And then at 10:40 p.m. Eastern, you have Freddy versus Maniacal. And Drossi, you're going to be heading over there to do tracking duty for that match.
Yes, the supreme sacrifice.
And then at 12:10 a.m. Eastern Time, coming up here in 3 hours, the nightcap for tonight, Incoherent versus Bread, with Adalor and Zerubian on commentary for that. So some great matches coming up here tonight, here on the 3rd day of the group stage.
And here I thought we had
main tournament.
Here I thought we had Incoherent in the commentary booth.
Yes, I know. Again, my condolences to the runners when they listen to this race back. Special thanks to Lady Laura Linda, who's had to listen to us ramble on for the last 2 hours. Let's go ahead and special thanks to everyone else who's been on the crew here over on the SpeedGaming side, as well as those who've been doing the support over here in the Link to the Past randomizer main tournament as well. Here in 1 hour, thanks for joining us. I'm Adirondack Rick.
And I'm Drossi, and have a good one.